Claudia, because I'm in denial about Newman's death. First,
Me too.
Me too. I keep forgetting, actually.
Me too. I keep
I think
forgetting.
it's an intentional forgetfulness.
Yeah, we're
though.
not
Like,
pressing it.
no.
We're not facing it.
No,
We're not
no.
dealing with it.
So what death?
love it, exactly. So for this death, what was your reaction when you read it for the first time in the script?
Weirdly enough, I felt like I accepted it more than everyone else. I was like, this makes sense. Like it does make sense in the journey and in the story of the show for that to happen. This is the only way. Because there's so much more that still needs to happen, guys.
I know.
In terms of character development and story structure for everyone else.
You're very logical.
You're very logical. I did not love that.
No, we were having tantrums.
But like, look, when it came to shooting it on the day, I remember I had this moment, like I finished it and then I went to my trailer and I just like sat there in this like half bloody like pink power suit. And I was sitting there and I just had the thought of like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to like walk as her again or to like speak like her. You know what I mean? It's like that farewell to a character. Like I'll never get to say something like at her again. And I just had this very emotional moment and it was just, and that's when it hit me.
No, yeah.
It didn't hit me for any of the build up. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like none of
You're
it.
present for it.
Or I just didn't want to, I don't know. And then I sat in my trailer and I was like, but it was like a bittersweet farewell. I was ready for it, but also it's just so hard to.
We can cosplay it.
We can.
Victoria Newman is dead.
Sad, right? Like R.I.P. Newman. She was, besides Homelander, she was really the main antagonist of the season.
Victoria.
Singer's alive, your assassin failed.
And it felt like bringing that storyline to a head. She was either going to become president of the United States or something terrible was going to happen to her. What we really liked was like that little like rug pull we do where, the audience spends all season like rooting for her to die. And then when Butcher actually does it, it's the thing that literally triggers the apocalypse. And, and there's a comment in that. I mean, look, I know it's a gory show, but Huey's heart speaks for my feeling, which is, if you want to be human, like we got to quit acting like monsters and we have to let go and actually forgive and show a little mercy, which I think is a good lesson in these polarized times.
War games, Huey. The only way to win is not to play.
How did the decision come about to end on such a cliffhanger with the boys separated and captured?
We really wanted to shake it up. The one thing we really didn't want was the season to end like with a kind of status quo, because I think for the first couple seasons, it's like they get really close to killing each other and then the tide recedes a little bit. And we had done that a couple times and I was feeling a little impatient with it. And I was like, okay, let's do something that really changes what the next season's going to be, where we cannot go back to business as usual.
We're coming for you. I'm coming for you.
And if we're threatening the takeover of the United States, let's go ahead and do it.
Can you talk about, why was this the moment where her voice came out? And also, did you try out different kinds of shouts and screams?
Yes, actually, it was a necessary moment because I think she's all season she's been trying to speak, and the thing that's holding her back is her past experiences and the trauma behind it. And it's not like a physical trait of hers; it's more of a emotional thing that's prohibiting her from speaking. Mm-hmm. And so in that moment, it comes out of necessity. She's really like feeling it in the pit of her stomach. That was a special day because not only did I speak, but I also got to work with Asa and Maddie, who were in Gen V, and
I love them.
It's so fun.
They gave no hints. They weren't allowed to talk about their show that they had filmed. So I was like, are you guys good or bad? Or
really? Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
A few takes, I like ran away from him, and Eric was like, "No, he's stronger than you."
Oh shit!
So funny.
Oh my gosh!
But the scream, when I was doing my own rehearsals and prepping for it, I got really technical about, speaking to a speech therapist and what is the first time, what does that sound like? Is it even physically possible to scream? Is it more like a quiet?
Oh, interesting. Wow.
And then on the day, Eric directed me in that way, and it was like very eye-opening to me, and I think way more powerful than what I was originally planning on doing.
Because for once, I didn't hate myself.
The idea of redeeming A-Train came up somewhere in the middle of season 3 because he was like evolving a soul in real time in season 3. And so we felt like rather than returning him back to how he was, it felt like a natural evolution. Once you start caring and once you grow a soul, it's hard to kill that will keep growing. In no means have we seen the last of A-Train. And also it's a compliment to Jesse, because Jesse is just so inherently charismatic and likable. Like, you want to root for that guy. And so turning A-Train into a character you can root for is something I knew he would crush.
How does A-Train's betrayal affect the Deep? Is he considering possibly getting out too, or is he too deep in?
Oh, I think the Deep's very happy to be one less person closer to Homelander. I think he is too in deep. He's way too deep in.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
I think so. That's my take on it. I don't know what the writers are thinking or where they're going to go with it, but I like it.
Who cares what I think?
You're a writer. You don't get paid shit.
Please. This is what we're doing.
I'm angling for a buddy comedy. That's what we're talking about. So that's really where this is all leading. I'm just trying. That's how I craft the performance. No, but he really is one of the best people to work with. We have so much fun, and the fact that A-Train's out is just phenomenal.
So you're not rooting for a redemption arc for the Deep, I'm guessing.
No, not necessarily. No, I think it's pretty tough to do. But it would be fun if you had like 8 episodes and it was like his own show. It'd be funny to have like what would the redemption arc look like. That's an interesting question. But no, I think they're all destined for the depths.
We see Ashley take Compound V, so I have to ask, do you know what her evolved form is or what her superpower is?
I don't know, and I've pitched a couple things. I'm really excited about some of the ideas that have been floating around, but I know it has to be humiliating. And I know it has to be something disgusting. Like, those are the two requirements that I think the boys, it'll only fit in the world of the boys, you know? One of my pitches that I don't think is gonna make it is that like she pops her like arm up and her armpit hair like grows really fast and like lassos people and then she can pull them out. You know, I was thinking something hair related would be really funny because, you know, of her baldness, but that might be too on the nose, you know?
And can you share more about why she decided not to, leave with A-Train, and does she regret that decision?
I think she is staying with the devil she knows rather than the devil she doesn't know. I think it's much scarier to leave Vought and not have any sense of power, not have any sense of security. And she knows too much about the inner workings of Vought International that Homelander would just be immediately like, oh, she must die, which eventually she is on the list to die, so she was right about that.
Does anybody know Ashley's last name?
I don't know if she has any regrets. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if her superpowers are not too humiliating, she might not regret it,
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
We see Homelander find out that Soldier Boy's there. So can you talk about what is going on in his mind at that moment?
That's one of those moments where I think there's, which come up a lot in those cliffhanger moments. It was the same with the last scene that I did last year with the lasering a guy and then everyone starts clapping and cheering. We never get to the end of the moment. Don't know what it means, because I think there's moments in life where you can't get to a conclusion in that moment. I don't know if that means for him. He's got to figure that out, and so in that way it sort of complicates it as well. We don't answer the question and go, oh yeah, he's really upset or he's really this. It's like I don't believe the character should understand what he's feeling and connecting that, especially a character who's as emotionally stunted and unaware as Homelander. It's like, well, the question is, what does this mean?